Hello my fellow freedom builders and welcome back to the channel. It is time to have a quick look at the FAANG stocks or the FAANG stocks or whatever they're called now. The tech stocks have been really moving, going to the moon lately, and I'll have a look at them today to see if we could somehow have predicted that, and at the point they are now, are they a buy? Well, first of all, what is the FAANG stocks? Well, if you don't know it, FAANG stocks are the Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google. Some of them are also putting an M on here for Microsoft. And to make it all worse, it actually seems like they're not the FAANG stocks anymore, but the Mama stocks. Why? Well, because that Facebook is now Meta, and the Google is now the Alphabet, and so on. So it is all a letter jigsaw puzzle here. But I think you get the idea. It is the big tech, big communication, big software, and they are really moving fast. Now, what is the problem with that? Well, it's not really a problem if you own them, of course. But the thing is that most investors are trying to compare their own performance to S&P 500 or some sort of index. And that has been hard. Basically, no fund managers or large investors have beaten the S&P 500 this year, and the reason comes here in Yardeni's research. As you can see, up until the new year 2023 here, the FAANG stocks were going down. I'll call them FAANG stocks now, just so that we have a common word for it. And then after New Year, where up until New Year, it was kind of like we are moving out of tech, we're moving into more conservative, with less debt and so on. But then at New Year, it just went completely crazy. And having a look at this is quite telling, because the blue one here is S&P 500 without the FAANG stocks. We can look at it down here, maybe just zoom a bit in. As you can see here, we have the S&P 500. Now we can't see the exact numbers here, but the S&P 500 has gone slightly up this year. And with slightly, I mean 5 to 7%. However, the FAANG stocks are doing something like 40% this year. And since they are so heavily weighted into the S&P 500, we can actually see that the S&P 500 without the FAANG are slightly down this year. So have you not been in the FAANG stocks, but just in other S&P 500 stocks, it is most likely that you have had a hard time following the index. I saw a calculation the other day saying that between 90 and 95% on the entire rise in S&P 500 this year are due to 7 stocks. So without these 7 stocks, the rest 493 of the stocks in the S&P 500, they are actually basically in break even. So that is just to give you a bit of comfort if you are having troubles gaining up to the market this year. Now let's have a look at it, and what I want to see is, could we have seen some of these stock moves coming? And for that, I am both going to use the normal trading view, and then I'm going to use a new platform that I'm developing right now. That is called my stock scanner. It's not open for public use yet. There are some beta testers of it in Denmark, but it will soon be opened up. We are just double checking some of the fundamental data and so on. But here we have the TPI chart. That is called the Turning Point Index. And in this, you can see a lot of color down here in the bottom. The large down here is a long-term trend indicator. That is basically just to see, say, can we go long in this stock? No, we can't, not as long as it's red down here. But as soon as this one starts to go green, it means that the overall trend is going green. Now, this is the weekly swing trading indicator. And as soon as that turns dark green, and our long-term trend indicator here is dark green, well, then we are actually allowed here to buy. So the Nvidia, and I know the Nvidia is not a part of the FAANG, but I guess it will be soon. They will find some acronym that puts the N for Nvidia in there, definitely. We have an N for Netflix, by the way. So the Nvidia Corporation, which is the talk of the town right now, could have been bought down here at around 168. And then depending on if you're taking on the red signals here as a swing trading exit, you would have exited up here at 230 and you would have re-entered into 75, taking this one up. Or you could have taken a simple 10 weeks moving average and say, all right, when I get the buy right here at, what date was that? The 13th of January. That was around, let's just have a quick look. That was around here. And then you can just put a trailing stop on 10 weeks moving average here. And you could have taken the entire move up with around 120%, something like that. Now, I know this is in hindsight, but the good thing about this is that it is completely rules-based. We are testing this swing indicator right now, but it is 100% rules-based, meaning that you can backtest any stock at any time as long as we have data for it. You can see here with the slider down here, we can pull data back from 2000 or something like that here. So we do have quite a lot of data to test on. By the way, when we're looking at this, the Nvidia, the good question is, well, should we buy now? Well, if you're a swing trader, you would have bought here, but I would not recommend buying here. There is a great deal of FOMO involved here, but you can have a look at the value chart where you can see what is the average historic price earning that investors have been willing to pay here. And as long as it is below this level here, it is what is called a value stock. It is a bit hard to define value, and you can say, all right, then I shouldn't have bought here and taking a quadrupling in price here. But anyway, right now, if the investors are willing to pay the exact same PE in the future as they have over the last 10 years, and if their estimates are holding through, then this is not a good value play right now. But I know most investors are going into this AI frenzy and thinking Nvidia is the place to be. But believe me, at some point someone will burn their fingers here. But it might double or triple or 10x from here. I have absolutely no idea. I'm not trying to predict it. I'm just saying that this one told us back in January and again here in May that we could take a swing on it. All right, let's have a look at a couple of others. It could be the Meta. Let's just have a look at it here. Let's see, how has Meta been doing? Well, it has been, if we're zooming out a bit here, we can see it started a good long-term uptrend down here. That was in January as well. However, we didn't get the right swing set up until we were here in the middle of March at a price around 198. And then depending on, if we are just having a quick look at this one, that is a bit depending on how much you want a swing trade, because if we enter it somewhere here in March when the trend was running, well, if you have this as a trailing stop loss, a 10-week moving average here, you would still have been in, taking it from just below 200 and up with 30% right now. So that is quite nice. And looking at the value chart, Facebook or Meta here is actually one of the few of these stocks that, in theory, looking at value charts, should still have quite a lot movement to make here. All right, what else do we have? Well, we do have, let's see, we have Microsoft. Let's run into that right here. Here we go. Well, Microsoft has been in and out of the long-term trend a couple of times this year. As you can see here, was just sniffing to it here. That was before January, but there was not really any swing signal for us here. Then we went long here, but we didn't get a dark green setup. The first thing we are getting is actually up here, and that is in 20th of March, something like that, where we are getting a good swing setup, and it seems like we would have ridden that up until now. On the value chart, they are not fantastic value, but it's actually not too long ago they were. So if we had gotten a good swing signal down here sometimes in that could have been late 22 or something like that. Let's have a look. Late 22, Well, we could have gotten, this is not late 22, we are not really getting anything here because the long-term trend is not really favorable. So as you know, I am a trend follower, so I am in for the really long-term, long runs here. As you can see here, back from April 20 until beginning of 22, the Microsoft were in a good long-term trend down here, and it was we were able to take a ton of different swing trades here. Probably not all profitable, and some of you are more into long-term holding, but this is just to give you an idea of what we are trying to build to make the swing trading easier for you. All right, that's all for today. The good question is, of course, will the FAANG stocks, the Nvidia and so on, will they keep going? Well, no one really knows. It seems like they're resolving the debt ceiling issues in the United States. That might put some extra bullish push to it. And then, of course, we have the entire interest rate debacle from Fed. And right now, it seems like they might be hiking the interest rate 25 basis point more in the June meeting. With the latest inflation numbers and so on, it smells a bit like a rate hike in June. So let's see what that does to the stocks. But right now, the market is in kind of a FOMO mode. Everybody wants to get in on these fast runners. So in the upcoming week here, I will try to use this platform and, of course, TradingView on my normal setups to see if I can find some good setups where we can profit a bit from this FOMO. That's all for now. Take care of yourself and your money out there, and I'll talk to you again shortly. Bye.